Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, April 10th. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. We begin tonight in Suitland. The investigation into last night's dramatic kidnapping, police chase, and deadly shooting of a security guard in Suitland continues. Byron Scott has our story.
This was the scene just outside the Census Bureau complex in Suitland. The incident began several miles away at about 5:30 during the evening rush. Police say 48-year-old Ronald Anderson abducted a woman from a location in northeast D.C. and drove her to Suitland, where investigators say the couple were inside a car arguing when a security guard with the Bureau approached them and was shot. 59-year-old Lawrence Bruckner was pronounced dead. Police say Anderson sped off and returned to the district and that he fired shots at cops who were in pursuit. Police cruisers rammed the suspect's car as it drove along H Street at 12th. More shots were fired. Anderson was hit. A D.C. police officer also struck in the leg. Police were stationed outside the Census Bureau as employees returned this morning.
I mean, I'm very sad for the guard that was killed. You know, we have guards at the federal buildings, and a lot of times people just walk by them and, you know, take it for granted, but they actually do protect us and give a lot, sacrifice a lot, obviously, in this case. Very tragic.
Patricia Durr wonders if she knows the dead security guard.
I may have seen him a couple days ago when I was here, so I was thinking about that. Like, you walk past them and, again, you know, we take them for granted, but they're there to protect us.
The injured D.C. police officer is going to be okay. The woman who was kidnapped was not injured. As for the suspect who was in custody, yesterday was his birthday. Byron Scott, CTV News.
And Anderson faces a number of charges.
An Anne Arundel County police officer is in critical condition tonight after being shot early this morning near Annapolis. Authorities continue to search for the shooter, who they say is armed and dangerous. The incident occurred near a 7-Eleven store along College Parkway in the Arnold area. Police say the officer made contact with a man around 2 a.m. after someone reported a suspicious person nearby. According to investigators, both ran away from the store and witnesses reported hearing gunshots. Responding officers found their colleagues suffering from a gunshot wound to the upper body. He was taken to shock trauma at the University of Maryland Medical Center in Baltimore.
A Hyattsville man turns himself into authorities after being charged in a hit-and-run accident that killed a D.C. man and injured his fiancée. 73-year-old Earl Teeter is scheduled to go on trial in June for the death of 38-year-old Rick Warwick in February. Warwick was struck and killed along the Baltimore-Washington Parkway while changing the front tire of his car. The striking vehicle involved in the crash, allegedly operated by Teeter, left the scene. He is charged with failing to stop immediately at the scene of an accident involving a death and unsafe operation of a vehicle.
Negotiations continue in Annapolis with the end of the legislative session fast approaching. The General Assembly's deadline for passing a budget and any supplemental funding plans the governor sends over is Monday. Some nonprofit groups are voicing concerns that ongoing disagreements about taxes and education funding will jeopardize money for mental health services.
The Maryland legislature voted overwhelmingly and in a bipartisan fashion to restore cuts to funding for mental health services. But right now that funding hangs in the balance with all these other kind of negotiations that are going on. And if the money's not restored, it's going to affect the ability of our community mental health providers to treat the adults and children that they treat every day with mental health needs.
Mental health advocates have sent a letter to Governor Hogan requesting that he include additional funding in a supplemental plan. The governor has authorized a 10-day extension to give lawmakers more time to pass a budget if they need it.